It's a prank, it's a prank. No. Stay right there. Just stay right there. Just stay right there. And I'm a photographer. I'm just, capturing photos. Just taking it. All right, thank you.
I mean, your face now. What are you doing? What is this on? Is this an iPhone?
No, I'm just
You're practicing.
No, I'm not.
It's really good. Attention!
Yeah. I saw you on wait, yeah.
What's on all my brains today? Damn, this Vegeta didn't even look real.
Matter of fact, make that a large fry.
No. It's not part of our order.
Alright, we're gonna get a large fry, we're gonna get a quarter pounder as well.
Random guy. No.
No, we're getting a quarter pounder and shut up, Cupcake!
No.
A large fry, shut up, sip on your fucking milk, and matter of fact, we're gonna order a large milkshake.
No milkshake. Yo, just out of here, bro. Please. One medium French fry, nothing else.
We're gonna get a large milkshake.
No, just a medium fry.
Is this really a new sport? Or even an old sport? So awesome.
Most insane internet rabbit holes are all the convincing part, except jet fuel is a hoax, and airplanes don't actually burn fuel to fly, but rather use an energy source that's gonna have you questioning everything. Just a fun theory for entertainment purposes only. So this is a plane. It flies in the air using jet fuel, or so we're told. A typical Boeing 747 carries about 64,000 gallons, or 242,000 liters of fuel. That's a lot. A literal metric ton. Actually, about 193 metric tons to be exact. But let me ask you something that you've probably never thought of before. Where the hell do they put it? Like, this is what a 60,000 gallon water tank looks like. That's a person for scale. It's massive. We're told that more than this amount of fuel is stored in the wings of the plane, and that part's not a myth, that's actually what they tell us. And the question people are asking is, where? How exactly do 64,000 gallons fit in these wings? Like, this entire tank is really squeezed into those thin sheets of metal? It just visually doesn't make any sense. And then think about the time that it takes for an airplane to refuel. When you're at an airport, you usually don't see the fuel pump connected to the plane for more than a couple minutes at a time. A regular car takes only about 12 gallons of fuel, and let's say 2 minutes to fill up. Even if these jet fuel pumps pumped at 10 times the rate of a regular car gas pump, do the math, and it should take around 9 hours to fill just half of the plane's 64,000-gallon capacity. Yet we somehow never see a plane getting pumped for more than a couple minutes, if even at all. Sure, they'll tell you these jet fuel pumps are actually way more powerful than that, and can pump fuel at a rate hundreds of times faster than car gas pumps, all going through this hose with a 1 to 2 inch inner diameter, which is actually how wide they are on the inside. Go search it up. All of this fuel which goes to power the turbines, and this is where it starts getting fun. Because here's what a turbine from a typical airline jet looks like, pretty standard. And here's the ceiling of the Hoysala Temple in India, an ancient temple that is said to have been built around 1150 AD, but some argue it could be much, much older than that. Now, ancient India has some of the wildest temple architecture and design anywhere on Earth, like Kailash, a whole ass temple that was carved into the bedrock of the cliff around it, an absolute marvel of ancient engineering. The pillars found inside these temples are so symmetrical, so insanely detailed, they look like they're 3D printed, made hundreds, if not thousands of years ago, and also appear to have been made for much more than just aesthetic purpose, because the engineering behind these pillars is nothing short of miraculous, with moving stone parts that can be physically rotated like they're part of a machine. Some of them aren't even connected to the ground, and just how on earth did they pull that off? Meanwhile, others can fully rotate and spin around. Like, we're talking stone pillars built over 800 years ago, engineered like modern machinery. And I don't see any reason why anyone would go through the painstaking lengths of making stone pillars that can spin unless they had a functional purpose. Oh look, here's one with a stone ball inside of it. Just how? Anyway, these ancient Indian temples really deserve their own video, which I'll cover some other time, but for now, let's focus on the pillars. These pillars are so meticulously designed with incredible laser-like detail and precision, near perfect circular symmetry that look like they were made with modern technology, and also happen to be in a similar shape of an airplane turbine engine. This is where we go a little off the rails. Remember, entertainment purposes only, right? Many fringe theories state that ancient temples and buildings like these were actually power plants that provided energy for past civilizations, like the pyramids of Egypt in the Giza power plant theory, and the same is thought of the temples of ancient India, like Kailash and Hoysala, which use specific ancient mechanisms and esoteric knowledge to harness atmospheric energy from the sky to power their ancient societies. I told you this was going to get weird. Well, now it's being said that same technology is actually being used in modern airplanes, which only use the jet fuel to take off, and once they reach a certain altitude, they tap into this atmospheric energy to stay lifted and move fast, which they would have better access to because of how high planes fly, and that's where this energy is supposedly found. Tartaria technology, Nikola Tesla technology, zero-point energy being used right under our noses, all while taking money out of our pockets with expensive plane tickets, blaming it on the copious amount of jet fuel they allegedly need, when they're actually just using the free, unlimited atmospheric energy harnessed by our ancestors. Absolutely insane, I know. But listen, a Boeing 747 can weigh up to 220 tons, while an Airbus 380 can go up to 600 tons. Have you ever stopped to think about how much of a modern miracle it is for a 600-ton metal behemoth to fly through the air for 16 plus hours on end? And all it takes is 4 of these jet turbines, for how powerful they are, aren't even really used anywhere else except for aviation. But even so, someone has to make these engines, and surely it would be much too difficult to keep something like this a secret with hundreds of companies all manufacturing them, right? Well, actually no, because only 3 companies own 99% of all turbine manufacturing in the world: GE Aerospace, Pratt & Whitney, and Rolls-Royce. Any other manufacturer is in some way associated with these big 3. And of course, all of these companies have the usual suspects, Vanguard and BlackRock, as their top shareholders, the 2 mega companies that own everything, who control the 3 companies that essentially power every airline on the planet, also making it almost impossible for anyone else to make their own commercial turbines, with regulations, gatekeepers, certifications, and import controls, to keep their oligopoly in power and free from independent producers to keep this technology as close to their chest as possible. Like, are 4 of these turbines really enough to keep a 600-ton airplane suspended in the air, traveling at hundreds of miles an hour for hours on end, propelled by just the air?
Prepare for a wild ride. Imagine flying at warp speed through an infinite tunnel of psychedelic trance. Colours shift and swirl, pulling you deeper into the vortex. Each twist and turn feels like a cosmic dance, syncing perfectly with the beats of an otherworldly soundtrack. As you move forward, the triangles morph and change, creating patterns that are both mesmerising and surreal. It's like stepping into a kaleidoscope, where every moment offers a new explosion of colour and light. The vortex isn't just a visual trip, it's an experience that tingles your senses and sparks your adrenaline.
Waiting for is
Whether you're a
seen unlimited energy just by bobbing in the ocean, and how it works makes a lot of sense. It's called Ocean 2, a prototype that's now live and generating power, developed by the Portland-based team at Panthalassa. As the ball bobs in the waves, water is forced up through a tube beneath the surface and into the sphere. That water then drains back out, spinning turbines and generating electricity. The simple and uninvasive design means that these devices could be built and deployed in deep open oceans quickly and affordably without harming marine ecosystems. And because they don't have to be close to shore like other renewables, the potential to harness the open ocean's power is huge. Tap like to see more innovations like this and throw a wave emoji
Hey,
in
did
the
y'all see
comments.
that we're going to lose gravity for 7 seconds on August 12th of this year? You know, or supposedly that's just the rumor floating around the internet, because you know, no gravity, floating. But supposedly an alleged secret NASA document named Project Anchor leaked in 2024. And within this document, they revealed that the agency had known of and organized special preparations for this cosmic event. But some of the information that I've gathered from this supposed leaked document is that the duration would be 7.3 seconds and expected casualties would be 40 to 60 million people. You know, and I guess you got to think about that one, that for 7 seconds people would float up into the sky and then 7 seconds later they'd slam back into the ground. I'm also waiting for some of those gravity isn't real comments, so you know, like August 12, 2026, let them fly. But I guess the reason that people think this could happen is because the intersection of two gravitational waves from black holes. You know, that's just a bunch of sci-fi jargon, but maybe this is the real reason all those rich people are building bunkers all over the place. Most likely it's just crazy talk from the internet, but somehow the ultra-rich always seem to be ready for the impossible before the rest of us hear about it. So for all we know, they're hoarding their mermaid meat and getting their bunkers ready for the big day.
He's like, damn, I gotta listen to that every time I eat. Birds are such weird creatures. Bird up.
Hey, you guys are watching Bird Up.
I mean, it definitely looks like a dinosaur.
Yeah, shooting the gap, you know, threading the needle. Good day out there. Tried a random idea. It almost worked well enough where I had to go after it. Called the kicking cab around the world. I'm pumped.
Dude,
This one took tons of finesse and a lot of attempts, but I got it. But it ain't just about the finesse, you know, I'm going high speed, figuring out long throws. I want a 360 right there. I'm gonna nail
oh
this.
my gosh, that's
And
awesome.
I'm going fast, dude, throwing triples right here. I don't know how fast I'm going, probably 45, I want to say, maybe 50. Yeah, and this is happening all the time now, I can just do this. I'm gonna make it harder though, dude, I'm gonna ski tap it. It's coming. Yeah, and on these big long throws at speed, you gotta chuck it way downhill and way farther to the left or right, whichever way you're turning than you'd ever expect. I'm also realizing that there's like a speed limit where if I chuck it too far and I speed up to it, the club actually slows down while I come into it and it'll bounce out of my hand. Anyway,
Talk to themselves, create imaginary scenarios, and replay full conversations in their minds often see it as harmless. But in reality, it's the brain's way of self-regulation, a coping mechanism. When the outside world feels too distant to understand, the mind becomes both the speaker and the listener, creating a safe space to express what can't be spoken out loud. In those inner dialogues, people rehearse answers to questions no one has ever asked. They build arguments, win them, lose them, and say the words they may never have the courage to voice in reality. The brain designs a complete system where one person plays both sides of every conversation. Psychology suggests that while this habit can bring emotional clarity, it also carries a hidden cost. Over time, the person can become so fluent in their inner dialogue that real conversations, messy, vulnerable, unpredictable, start to feel impossible. And perhaps that's why the most difficult battles are often fought in silence, within the walls of one's own mind.
So now NASA is trying to make us believe that the Earth has 2 moons. And those 2 moons will be together until the year 2083. And this shouldn't come out as a surprise with all the other things that's been happening. But get this, NASA is also saying that that moon, that new moon, has already been here for 60 years. Now, if you remember last year, September, NASA said the same exact thing. They said it would be a second moon visible, and that moon would stay until November of 2024. But now they're saying that this moon the new moon that's next to the moon is going to be here till 2083. And it's been here for 60 years already. Where's the truth at? With all the crazy shit that's going on up in space, you got 3-Eye Atlas that's supposed to be here between this month and next month. And they don't know if that's an asteroid or the gray people or the green people. And now they expect us to believe that a moon that's been here for 60 years is sitting next to the moon that we see every single day. Now get this, they're calling this moon a near-Earth asteroid. This asteroid is going to orbit the sun, but stay close to Earth. That don't seem strange to y'all? It actually seems like a lot of me. It also seems like something else is going on. Something bigger has to be going on. 3-Eye Atlas, new moon, something bigger is going on.
Those scratches on his face are where she tried to fight for her life. It was the 11th of June 2022 in beautiful Colorado Springs at a local Walgreens. It was a beautiful summer's day, but it was just about to turn into a hellish nightmare. 17-year-old Riley Whitelaw had been working at the store. She was just the most friendly, smiley, approachable girl, and I know it is such a cliche, but she really did light up a room. She was wise beyond her years, she was very, very intelligent, but she was also amazingly funny and creative. But her light was being dimmed at work by a guy who was honestly making her life miserable. His name was Joshua Johnson. Bear in mind I told you that she was 17 years old. He was 28 and he was obsessed with her. Despite being way, way older than her, he just wouldn't leave her alone. She was not interested in the slightest. She actually had a boyfriend. She reported him to her manager, bless her. She was like, he's making me really uncomfortable. Can you take me off shift when he's on? He was like, he's making advances to me. I keep having to tell him no, but he just won't leave me alone. I really wish we would take girls more seriously. I have seen this situation in countless murder cases. But Riley did think things might be looking up. Her boyfriend actually started working at the same Walgreens, so it was almost like, okay, is this gonna protect me in some kind of way? Maybe this would get Joshua to finally see I'm with somebody else and he will leave me alone. But it actually did the opposite. It made him more jealous and more angry. Just 3 months after her boyfriend started working at that Walgreens, tragedy struck. It's the 11th of June, just before 7 p.m, when the manager of the store realised that Riley actually hadn't come back from her break from work. And Riley really wasn't the type of girl that would sit and skive off, so the manager went to look in the staff room. Just seconds later, he made a frantic call to 911. He said there was a teenage store worker in the staff room covered in blood, and police obviously raced there straight away. When they got there, they found Riley's lifeless body on the floor. There was no saving Riley. She had been brutally attacked. So who the hell had done this? Because somebody had obviously had access to that staff room when she was in there. So police immediately started looking through all the CCTV footage of the workplace, and they saw, you guessed it, Joshua Johnson. They were stacking up bins to cover the CCTV camera. But it's like, Joshua, you do realise the camera is recording you doing that though. Bleach was also found in a bin outside, and the windows of the staff room had been taped over. When police interviewed local shoppers later, a 16-year-old actually came forward to say that they'd heard a scream, but they hadn't realised it was a real person in real danger. So obviously Joshua's nowhere to be found now. He's mysteriously vanished despite having been working the store that day. The police cars went patrolling everywhere, trying desperately to search for him, and it wasn't long before they did find him. He was walking along Interstate 25 about 115 miles south of Colorado Springs. He was clearly covered in scratches, these self-defense marks showing that Riley had fought to the death. And it's actually crazy to me that Joshua thought that he was going to get away with this. His defense in court tried to claim that he'd been in the toilet when he heard a scream, he ran into the staff room, he saw Riley on the floor, she'd been attacked by some randomer, and he'd run away. I'm like, come on, Joshua, nobody is gonna fall for that. And thankfully the jury didn't either. They only had to deliberate for about an hour before finding him guilty of murder and giving him life in prison.
3 people over the last week had passed away at Disney World. They are now calling Disney World Funeral World. The same place people go to make everlasting fun memories with their family is now being horrified because their family member passed away. I don't know about y'all, but Disney has not been the same, fool. Since this happened, it got a lot of people questioning, like, what the fuck is really going on behind closed doors? Y'all can call this a coincidence, but this shit is crazy, fool. Something don't sit right with me.
Here we go. Are diamonds rare?
I can get in trouble for this one. No, diamonds are not rare. Okay, there was a company called De Beers. This company, De Beers, came along, I believe they're out of England, and they started buying up the diamond mines until they reached a point that they could control the outflow of diamonds. My understanding is they really created a whole system of grading diamonds to kind of create this idea of value. Diamonds are relatively common. There's enough for everyone on the planet to have it. So all they really had to do was create a giant need for diamonds. Giant marketing campaigns. Convinced everyone that this was the stone to use for engagement rings.
If you love them, get them a diamond.
Oh, right, yes. And by controlling the market on the diamonds, they could charge whatever they wanted and create all these different levels to give it the appearance of value. And so it was really incredibly brilliant. Now, my understanding is at this point, it's not so much that they're controlling it all now. But no, there are much, much rarer stuff. Oh, far rarer. Tons of much rarer stuff.
Really dying. For the first time in over 35 years, not one single rap song is made the top 40 of Billboard's Hot 100. Just think about that. Every single week since 1990, which is almost 2,000 weeks in a row, a rap song has made it into the top 40 until today. History once again. Now, there's two main reasons to this. One, which you'll hear unks in the comments saying, they don't make music like they used to. But secondly, Billboard recently made a rule change which removes songs if they are too old. Therefore, the last one, Hanging On, Luther by Kendrick, was recently taken out back. But I guess even that is beside the point, because what happened to all the music released in 2025? So the question has to be asked, is rap music dying, or is it just one bad year?